Hey everyone, and welcome back to more political chatter. In this video, we will be talking about the Ohio Senate race, this midterm elections, where the election will just take place on November 8th. So, of course, election day. It is very, very close. We are, inching closer to it day by day. It's the 23rd right now. So we only have, around 15 days left or something like that. But in this video, we will be talking about the Ohio Senate race alone, and one that should not be competitive at all, but is seemingly still competitive, and one that I do believe that J.D. Vance, the Republican, will still win, but one that should be a likely margin win, an 8-point win or more, actually a more than 8-point win. Like a 10-point win for J.D. Vance, but it's not. In my most recent predictions, I have it going to J.D. Vance by 4%. J.D. Vance should be doing much, much better, and he simply is not, and that's what we will be talking about in this video. So, to start off, the 2016 Senate election, we have Rob Portman, who is stepping down this year in 2022. He won re-election in 2016 with 58% of the vote to Ted Strickland's 37%. So this was a margin of 21%. He won by 21%. This was a huge margin win for Rob Portman, and it just shows you how Republican Ohio is. Sure, it might have went to Obama. However, on the Senate side, the Republicans won big, and in 2016. And on the presidential side, Republicans won also. Donald Trump won by 8% in the presidential election. So it did go to the Republicans on the Senate side by much more. Went to Rob Portman by 21, went to Trump by 8. But still, this was a flip. Ohio had gone to Obama in 2012. This was still a major flip, like a 10-point flip. And then on the Republican side, it wasn't a flip because Rob Portman also won in 2010. But the point is that Republicans really took control of Ohio in 2016. And if we're looking at 2020, Trump won it by 7. Ohio stayed with Trump. This was one that was expected to flip to Joe Biden. But no, it stayed with Trump, and it wasn't a tilt or even a lean margin. It went to Trump by a likely margin. It only went to him. It only shifted to the left by 1%. By 1 single percent. So looking at 2020, it was a blue wave year because Donald Trump was unpopular. He was the president running for re-election. He won it by 7. Now, what are we finding? Joe Biden is the president now, and he's unpopular. This is a Republican-favored year, everyone. So, wouldn't it make sense that J.D. Vance is winning by more, or is leading by more than Trump won in 2020, which was a blue wave year? Yes, that is exactly how it should be going. But no, J.D. Vance is not going to win by more than 7. 7 is a possibility, but certainly it will not exceed 7. And I do not think it will get to 7. I think it's going to stay right around 4 or 5, possibly even 3. So, as I said, J.D. Vance, I do believe, will still win. But his campaign is just horrible. And Donald Trump really messed up the Republicans in Ohio. Ohio might really like Trump, but once he got into the Republican primary for Senate, he screwed up the whole race because looking in March of 2021, so this is a year before the primary, we already had candidates. Josh Mandel, who I believe would have been the best candidate in this race, and I believe Ohio wouldn't even be in consideration of being competitive. It really wouldn't be if Josh Mandel won this race, if Trump had not endorsed J.D. Vance. I forgot to mention that Trump did endorse J.D. Vance, and we'll get to it. In second was Turner. Who is Turner? No idea. And then we had Jane Timken, who lasted the entire race but still failed. And then we had Mike Gibbons also, and then as we go into 2022, Josh Mandel is still the leader in this race. He still is. There hasn't been any Trump endorsement yet. Mike Gibbons is surging. He would have been a fine candidate, Mike Gibbons. He was pro-Trump, but he was running a good campaign. He wasn't like making, his whole campaign about Trump himself. He actually talked about saving the economy, failing economic towns in Ohio. He talked about that. And then J.D. Vance was in third at this point because he entered in April of 2021. And then we have the minor candidates. And then we see the endorsement of J.D. Vance in like March, April. J.D. Vance surges to the top. Matt Dolan comes in second. So these are like the final votes here. Well, no, it's not. This is just polling. But this guy, Matt Dolan, surges to the top. And then Josh Mandel. And then blah, blah, blah. But all of these candidates, Matt Dolan would have been a phenomenal candidate. Mike Gibbons would have been a pretty good candidate. Josh Mandel would have been a great candidate. But all three would be beating Tim Ryan by a wide margin right now, and Ohio would not be in consideration. But because J.D. Vance is running a horrible campaign and Tim Ryan is running a good campaign, there is some people are watching the state of Ohio, and a state that no one ever thought would be watched this midterm elections. So, looking at 538 now, I just want to show you that J.D. Vance is favored to win, okay? Just a little bit ago, Tim Ryan was leading. But J.D. Vance is still the favorite to win, okay? I do believe that he is. If Tim Ryan wins, I will be absolutely shocked. That will be the biggest upset of these midterm elections by far of this year of 2021. It would be a bigger upset than Glenn Youngkin in Virginia, I believe. But then again, Virginia did happen, so Tim Ryan can win in Ohio. However, it would be extremely unlikely. But Tim Ryan is such a good candidate for Ohio. I mean, if we're looking, he won. He was a U.S. representative from Ohio, right? And he won in a swing district multiple times. He won re-election many, many times, and he was a very popular representative. So popular, in fact, that he ran for president in 2020. An unpopular representative does not run for the Democratic nomination for president. Granted, he did not last very far, but still, it's the fact that he ran for president. He must have been pretty popular. And he is, making J.D. Vance look like a corporate sellout. He's making it known that he worked in Silicon Valley. His campaign is that J.D. Vance isn't for Ohio. So he's not a hardworking, blue-collar worker, Ohio resident, I don't know. And he's making it known that he himself, Tim Ryan, is that he works for the common man. And he's saying J.D. Vance does not. And he's saying that J.D. Vance only cares about Donald Trump. And sure, Ohio did go to Trump, but Ohioans do not want to hear that the Republican nominee works for Donald Trump and not Ohio, okay? So, the point in this video is, main takeaways, is that Ohio shouldn't be competitive, yet it still is. And that most polls do believe, show that J.D. Vance will pull out a win. And polls did favor Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton in 2016 and 2020. So even these polls that Tim Ryan are winning, given the margin of error of 2016 and 2020, it would give J.D. Vance a win. So, definitely important to keep in mind the polls. So thank you all for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Comment video ideas down below. Jeez, I can never say that right. And I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks again.